Good morning, friends. Today is Monday, August 5th, 2019. I am Travis Egan with Hancock Mortgage Partners, and today I'll be sharing my daily musings and lessons learned. This one might be a little controversial, so I'd love to hear your feedback. And I've been forgetting, so for those of you that have been doing it, thank you. Hashtag live if you're watching this live, please. Hashtag replay if you're watching it on replay. It does help with our analytics, so I appreciate you doing that. So the message today is one that I was thinking about a lot over the weekend and going to the state fair with my wife. One of the things that I was thinking about was back in the day when I first moved to Wisconsin, when I got out of the Marine Corps, and when I first got into mortgage lending, I used to cover a part of the state from Eau Claire to Hudson and then straight north to Superior, across the top of the state, and then as far south as Sheboygan, and then over to Appleton. And I used to drive that every day. And I carried with me an atlas. I don't know if you remember, it was a big, thick book that had the entire state, had all the maps on it, had all the different, the major highways and county roads and all that. And I would use that to go from city to city in parts of the state I had never been before. Places like Wausau and Tomahawk and Hayward and Oconto and Oconto Falls, places way up north that I had never been before. So I had to figure out how to get there. And it was fun. When my boys were little, one of the things I would do is we would get in the car, we would be somewhere, and I'd say, okay, guys, give us the instructions home. And I would drive literally wherever they took us. So if they took us in the wrong direction, I would drive it. And we did that a lot of times. We did that because I wanted them, by the time they were old enough to drive, to understand how to get around their city that they lived in, always to be able to find their way home. Now, I just use my phone, right? I just use my phone. I put the Waze app on, and it takes me everywhere. I don't have an atlas. I don't have hard maps anymore. So if Waze takes me in the wrong direction, I'm screwed. And I get super frustrated. My wife will tell you if my technology doesn't work the way I want it to, whether it's Google Maps or Waze or whatever it may be, I always follow the instructions. Like, I follow them because I feel like they know what they're doing better than I do. Now, sometimes I'll detour if I know a shortcut. If we think about this in our lives, if we think about this as an anecdote of our lives or our leadership, so if we lead a team or if we lead a family, which we all do as parents, we act as the GPS, the Waze, or the Google Maps of our families. So we're constantly, when our children are young, we are constantly trying to direct them to stay on course, right? We're their GPS. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you guys doing that. We are the GPS for our families. So the question I have for you today, though, is when we do that, when we're the ones that constantly, as they get older, as they become late teenagers in their 20s, or our teens, we become a crutch for them, right? Like I use the GPS as a crutch. We become that person that they come to and say, hey, we take the ability for them to have to think on their own independently away from them. I think back to some of the teachers I had in school, some of the ones that I disliked the most taught me the most. And the reason I disliked them is because they made me actually work. I had a teacher, Mr. Fogel, in 7th and 8th grade English at East Naples Middle School. He had this rule of like 20 things that we didn't do. I still use them to this day. A lot is 2 words. You'd lose points if you didn't use that. And or but. You can't start a sentence with and or but. So things like that. So I still use some of the things he taught to this very day because he wouldn't let us be a crutch to him. He'd say, is it in the rules? Then don't do it. So I'm going to challenge you today to think about that from your team's perspective. If you manage a team or you manage yourself, do you go to your boss constantly for the answers, or do you try to solve it on your own? Constantly strengthening that muscle so you can take that leadership role. And in our families, I'd encourage you, let's let our kids skin their knees a little bit. Let's let them make mistakes. Let's let them figure it out. So, like I said, I know I'm probably pushing a few buttons here, but you know, I think the world of y'all, and I really think this is something that will help all of you. So, thank you for watching today's daily musings and lessons learned. I appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.